Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're taking the source materials you sent over, specifically chapters 33 through 36, plus 39 and 40 of The Eye of the World, and we are really going to unlock what's happening under the surface here.
We are. For the last few deep dives, it's all been about running, right? Surviving ancient evils, monsters in the dark. But now that focus just completely shifts. Our guys have finally made it to the big city, Caemlyn.
And it turns out to be so much more dangerous than the wilderness. So, our mission today is really to get into that sudden, brutal transition. We're leaving the survival story behind, and, we're jumping straight into a political thriller.
Exactly. Prophecy, intrigue, secret agendas. They're far deadlier than a Trolloc. We have to break down the power structure in Queen Morgase's court, especially this really formidable character, Elaida Sedai.
And that foretelling, wow. That moment changes everything for Rand Thor. He basically becomes a fugitive in an instant.
It's such an acceleration. You can feel it in the writing. The stakes go from, will I survive the night, to will I be a pawn in a game that decides the fate of a kingdom? Everything we're about to analyze, from a simple farmer's gossip to the color of the rooftops, it all screams that our heroes are in way over their heads.
Okay, let's unpack this journey, because our characters just hit the big city, Caemlyn, and discovered it's far more dangerous than the wilderness.
So to quickly set the scene, you have to remember the context. They were all scattered back at Shadar Logoth. Rand and Mat have been on their own, trying to follow the advice Tom Merrilin gave them before Whiteburn.
Before he was tragically killed. So they're alone, they're broke, they're exhausted, and they're heading for Caemlyn because that's the rendezvous point Moiraine said.
Right. And their arrival in chapter 34 it's not exactly heroic. They literally catch a ride on the back of a cart with a farmer named Bunt.
And this is where it all starts, isn't it? This conversation with a random farmer is our first real deep dive into Andor politics.
It absolutely is. Bunt, in his, very simple, straightforward way, gives you all the critical background you need. He talks about Queen Morgase, who seems pretty well liked, but then he immediately brings up the controversy around the White Tower.
Yeah, he gets very specific about this tradition. The daughter heir, who is the next in line to be queen, has to go to Tar Valon for training with the Elaida Sedai.
And the queen's eldest son goes to train with the warders. So right away, you see this deep institutional link between the royal family of Andor and the White Tower. It's not just an alliance, it's baked into their system of succession.
But Bunt frames it as a bad thing. He connects it to this past tragedy.
He does. He talks about the previous daughter heir's son, a man named Luke, who went off to fight in the Blight and just disappeared, vanished. So for the common folk, this tradition isn't a strength, it's seen as a weakness, maybe even a curse that Morgase is foolishly continuing.
So there's this undercurrent of resentment. The people are suspicious of the Elaida Sedai's influence.
Yes.
And that's the atmosphere Rand and Mat are walking into.
Exactly. It gives a kind of legitimacy to the troublemakers we see later. You've got this resentment, you've got bad weather, failing crops. People are looking for someone to blame. And the Elaida Sedai are an easy target. It means Morgase is constantly walking this political tightrope.
And while all of this is happening, while they're physically getting closer to the city, Rand was fighting a very different kind of war. Chapter 33. That dream is just terrifying.
It's pure psychological warfare. It confirms the danger isn't just something you can run from. It can get inside your head. Rand's asleep at an inn, somewhere totally normal, and suddenly Ba'alzamon is there. This figure of fire, confirming he knows exactly who Rand is, who Mat is, who Perrin is.
And he's not just making generic threats like, I'm gonna get you. His strategy is way more clever. He's trying to poison Rand's trust in his own allies.
He is. He says, look, you're just a puppet. The White Tower, the Elaida Sedai, they're gonna use you up and throw you away, just like they've done to every powerful man in history.
And to prove it, he starts naming names. This is where the lore gets really heavy, really fast. He lists these men who could channel Stedding, the male half of the power.
We should probably slow down and go through them because those names carry so much weight. They're Ba'alzamon's proof. He names Davian, Urian Stonebow, Gwar Amalasan, and Raylan Darksbane.
So who are these guys? Why are they the perfect examples to throw in Rand's face?
They are all essentially what the world calls false dragons. Men who could channel, who inevitably were driven mad by the taint on Stedding, but not before they raised armies and nearly tore the world apart. They represent this repeating, tragic cycle of male power, destruction, and suppression by the Elaida Sedai.
Okay, so Davian was called the Destroyer. Gwar Amalasan started a war that lasted for 5 years. Raylan Darksbane. The name says it all.
By listing them, Balsamon is screaming at Rand, "This is your future. You think you're special. You're just the next one in line." And then he twists the knife by mentioning Logan.
The false dragon who's alive right now, the one who's being paraded through the country on his way to Tarvalon.
On his way to be gentled, which is a term we really need to define.
Right. For anyone who doesn't know, what exactly is gentling? Because it sounds quiet, but the reaction it gets is anything but.
Gentling is when the Aes Sedai cut a man off from the One Power. They sever his ability to channel. And while you might think that's a relief, stopping the madness and practice, it's a death sentence. The shock, the loss. Most men just lose the will to live. They waste away and die. It's a complete destruction of who they are.
So when Balsamon says, the Emerald seat will use you, just as Logan is being used, he's giving Rand a very real, very immediate reason to be terrified of the Aes Sedai, even Moiraine.
Exactly, because their ultimate solution to the problem of male channelers is effectively annihilation. And the final horrifying proof is that this wasn't just a dream.
He wakes up and he's physically hurt. There's a real wound in his side.
A deep, throbbing wound. The boundary between the dream world and the real world is just gone. The heat from the vision dried the sweat on his face. He pulls a little shard of something out of the wound, and it just vanishes. It's proof that the Dark One can already touch him, physically harm him, from miles away.
So he's just survived this deep psychological and physical attack, and now he has to walk into the biggest city he's ever seen. Let's talk about what happens when he gets there.
The change of scene is so important. They get to Caemlyn, and it's just overwhelming. The book really makes a point of describing the difference between the bustling, crowded outer city and then the inner city, with its pristine white walls and golden domes. It's a visual representation of power.
They find the inn Tom told them about, the Queen's Blessing. And the innkeeper, Master Gil, he immediately recognizes Tom's name, but he gets really cautious really fast.
Master Gil is more than just an innkeeper. He's like a political barometer for the city. And he immediately starts trying to wise these two farm boys up. Don't do this, don't say that.
He warns them about the red and white cockades, the little ribbons people are wearing. This is the politics from the farm cart made real right on the street.
It is. If you're wearing red, you're a Queen's man. You're loyal to Morgase, you probably don't have a problem with the Aes Sedai.
But if you're wearing white?
If you're wearing white, you're against the Queen's policies. You probably blame the White Tower for the bad harvests, and you're part of this growing faction of dissent. And Gil says these groups get into street fights, so the city is literally a powder keg.
And these two kids walk in, and Rand is carrying a sword with a heron mark on the blade, which, as we've learned, is a symbol that a simple farmer should absolutely not have.
It's a massive liability. In a city where everyone is looking for spies and conspirators, a peasant boy with a nobleman's sword is just screaming for attention.
And then Gil gives them the most important piece of advice. Whatever you do not talk about dark friends, because that will bring Elaida Sedai down on you.
He's clearly terrified of her. He knows that Elaida is the Queen's enforcer, and she is actively hunting for any sign of a conspiracy against Andor.
It's just so interesting that the immediate danger isn't a Faden in an alleyway, it's the Queen's political advisor. But then Rand has this completely different kind of encounter. He wanders into the library and meets Loial.
Can we just take a second to appreciate this? I mean, the contrast is incredible. He's running from Shadowspawn, wounded by a nightmare lord, warned about assassins, and then he just sits down on a bench with a giant book-loving tree man.
An Ogier. I mean, his appearance alone is just so out of place. He's huge, these big bushy eyebrows and tufted ears, but he's so gentle, so scholarly.
And Loial isn't just, a cool fantasy creature. He provides this huge piece of philosophical context that Moiraine has been so cagey about. He talks about the Stedding, the Ogier sanctuaries.
And he confirms the whole cosmology of the series for Rand. He's the one who says plainly, the wheel of time weaves the pattern of the ages, and lives are the threads it weaves.
He's the one who confirms that Rand and his friends are Tabarin. That all this chaos isn't just happening to them, it's happening because of them. Reality itself is bending around them to make the pattern work.
And Rand gets this moment of, cosmic clarity, literally hours before he falls into the biggest political mess of his life.
And that new knowledge, that sense of destiny, might be what pushes him to do the next thing.
Yeah.
He becomes determined to see Logan, the false dragon. He has to see what he's running from, or maybe what he's afraid he could become.
So in chapter 35, he actually climbs up the palace wall to get a look. And it's a whole spectacle. Logan is in a cage, surrounded by guards, but even captured. He radiates this this terrifying power.
The book describes him as handsome, but with this incredible arrogance and menace. Even though he's a prisoner, he's still defiant.
Rand is just trying to understand, what does it look like? What is this power that he might have? Seeing Logan stripped of his freedom, but still this focal point of fear and awe. It's like a preview of his own future if he makes one wrong move.
And it is that exact act, that curiosity, that leads directly to the moment that changes everything.
He falls off the wall.
He falls off the wall and lands right in the middle of the one place he should not be.
Okay, so let's get into that. The core of this whole section, the palace intrusion. Rand literally falls into the royal gardens.
It's the perfect metaphor, right? The clumsy country boy literally crashing the party of high nobility.
And he immediately runs into the royal children, Elayne, who is the daughter heir, the next queen, and her brothers, Gawyn and Gawyn.
And the scene is so strange because she's just so kind to him. Here's this dirty, strange boy who just fell out of the sky, a trespasser, and her first instinct is to check if he's hurt. She starts tending to his cuts.
Her compassion is just so immediate and genuine. It's the complete opposite of the suspicion and political maneuvering he's about to face. She's applying ointment to his scrapes right before the guards show up.
And then they do. A guardsman named Talonvor finds them, and that moment of kindness is over. Rand is arrested and dragged in front of the queen.
Queen Morgase. And the whole throne room is just this masterclass in power dynamics. Morgase is trying to be regal and uphold the law, but you can tell she's on edge after seeing Logan.
She represents the law, the stability of Andor. But the real danger in that room, the person who immediately takes control of the situation, is Elaida Sedai.
And this is our first time meeting a really powerful Aes Sedai, who is immediately hostile to our main character.
Yes, she's the queen's advisor, but more than that, she is from the Red Ajah. And that is absolutely critical to understanding her reaction.
So remind us, what's the deal with the Red Ajah? Why is she the absolute worst person for Rand to meet right now?
The entire purpose of the Red Ajah is to hunt down men who can channel. That's their mission. They find them, they neutralize them, they prevent another man from going mad and breaking the world. They are, by definition, deeply suspicious of any man who seems out of place.
So for a Red Sister, Rand is just a walking collection of red flags. She immediately zeroes in on two things.
First, his appearance. His height, the red hair, the gray eyes. She says it's not two rivers. To her, that means he's an imposter, an outlander, part of some plot.
And second,
the sword.
The Heronmark blade. For Elaida, that's it. Case closed.
Yeah.
A simple shepherd boy with a blade like that. It's undeniable proof of a conspiracy. She doesn't see a boy. She sees a weapon that someone else has aimed at the throne.
And you can just feel the tension ratchet up as Rand is trying to stick to his story, trying to pretend he's just a simple shepherd, and it's all falling apart.
It is. And then, the critical moment. The foretelling. The one power just grabs Elaida, and she speaks a prophecy. This isn't her political opinion anymore. This is a rare, unstoppable burst of truth from the pattern itself.
She says, the daughter heir will go to Tar Valon, and with him goes the daughter heir for her training.
And just like that, the pattern snaps shut around Rand. Elaida is already primed to believe he's a conspirator, and the prophecy names a him who is connected to Elayne's future training. She immediately decides that him is Rand. She thinks he's part of a plot to lure Elayne away, to destabilize the kingdom. In her eyes, he goes from being a suspicious trespasser to a confirmed agent of some enemy power.
This single prophecy becomes the political justification for hunting him. It's not just about dark friends anymore, it's about the security of the Andoran throne.
But then the most surprising thing happens. The queen lets him go. Why? After a real foretelling, why would Morgase just let him walk away?
This is such a crucial detail about Morgase and Andor. She is upholding the law of her land above the magical certainty of the White Tower. A foretelling isn't a crime. Trespassing is. Rand hasn't actually done anything illegal besides fall into her garden.
So she's asserting her authority over Elaida's.
Precisely. She's showing that while she listens to her advisor, she is the queen, and her laws are paramount. It's a subtle but powerful political move, and it's the only thing that gives Rand the chance he needs to get away. It's the law acting as a shield against magical power.
So that one confrontation completely changes everything for Rand. Let's just focus on him for a minute. He's now been claimed by the Dark One in his dreams and named in an Aes Sedai foretelling in, the span of a day.
It's the ultimate 1-2 punch of spiritual and political threat. He's no longer just a shepherd boy caught up in events. The pattern has just publicly declared him a major player, a tavern of the highest importance, and he has no idea what that even means.
And that heron-marked sword is at the center of it. Lon warned him it was important, but now Elaida has used it as Exhibit A in the case against him.
The sword is a paradox. It forces him to lie about who he is, but it's also the very thing that proves he's lying. It's the physical evidence that he's more than he seems, and that's exactly what he doesn't want anyone to believe.
And you have to think, this is all happening right after Ba'alzamon's speech in his dream. The Dark One told him the Elaida Sedai would use and destroy him.
And what does he see? A powerful Aes Sedai from the Aja that destroys male channelers, looking at him with pure hatred and demanding he be imprisoned indefinitely. Ba'alzamon's propaganda just got a huge dose of validation.
So how much should he believe Ba'alzamon? I mean, is the White Tower really that cynical?
From Rand's perspective, he has to believe it. Even Moiraine has been secretive and manipulative. The entire existence of the Red Aja is proof that the Tower's solution for men like him is, ultimately, gentling. Logan is being paraded to his doom right outside the palace walls. The evidence is overwhelming.
So his fear is totally justified. His only logical move is to run. Not just from the Shadow, but from the White Tower, from Tar of Lon, from Moiraine, from anyone who might try to use him.
The hunt is now coming from both sides. The Dark One wants his soul, and the White Tower sees him as a potential weapon that needs to be controlled or, if necessary, dismantled. It's a perfect storm of prophecy and paranoia, and Rand is right in the middle of it.
A terrible perfect storm that all kicked off because he fell off a wall. Unbelievable.
So, the second Rand gets out of that palace, Moiraine and the others know they have to leave. Now, the danger is too great. The entire political and magical apparatus of the kingdom is about to start looking for a tall, red-haired boy with a heron-marked sword.
And they decide on the most extreme escape plan imaginable? They're going to use the Ways.
A truly radical and dangerous choice. They find Loial, and he very, very reluctantly agrees to be their guide. And his fear is a huge warning sign. He knows what the Ways used to be, and he knows what they've become.
So let's be clear about what the Ways actually are. In Chapter 39, Moiraine uses the power to open this hidden door, a waygate, in the cellar of an inn. And it opens into another dimension, right?
A pocket dimension.
Yeah.
A network of stone bridges and paths that the Ogier built long ago to travel across the continent almost instantly. It was meant to be beautiful, safe, and fast.
But that's not what they find. The description inside is awful.
It's terrifying. It's just endless, oppressive blackness. The air doesn't move. The silence is so total, it feels like a pressure on your ears. And the stone itself is corrupted. It's pitted and feels wrong. It's supposed to be this miracle of Ogier creation, but it feels like it's been poisoned.
Loial's fear is what really sells it. This is his people's greatest creation, and he is horrified to be inside it. He talks about how the ways are decaying, that the paths themselves are breaking down.
And they see proof almost immediately. They come to a bridge that's just broken, jagged edges hanging over a void of pure black. This isn't just old architecture falling apart. The very fabric of this place is being unmade.
So what does that mean metaphorically? If this Ogier creation, which is so tied to nature and growth, is rotting from the inside, what could do that?
It implies the Dark One's touch, the taint, is spreading beyond the physical world. It's not just a blight on the land anymore, it's corrupting the fundamental magical structures of the world. The very tools of creation are being turned into weapons of darkness.
They're escaping a political trap, only to run headfirst into a metaphysical one. The book even mentions that there are these strange markings near the waygate, a sign that maybe the Shadow has found a way to use or track people through the ways now.
It's a desperate gamble. Moiraine and Lon basically have to force everyone to run blindly through this collapsing, terrifying dimension, and they keep running until they burst out of another waygate, and they're hundreds of miles to the north.
In Shenar,
Yeah.
the Borderlands. In Chapter 40, they've completely changed locations. They went from the heart of civilization to the literal front line in the war against the Shadow.
And the change is immediate. They're in the fortress of Faldara, a place where there are laws about not wearing your hood up in case you're hiding the fact that you're a half-man, a murgadrol. They've traded the danger of a queen's court for the danger of total war.
Wow. I mean, what an incredible jump in the story. It's just relentless. 1 minute Rand is, chasing a badger on Beltane? And now he's a fugitive, prophesied to be tied to the Queen of Andor's daughter, and he's just survived the trip through a haunted dimension.
The escalation is breathtaking. That moment in Caemlyn, being judged by Elaida, being named in that foretelling, it cements his role. His life as a simple shepherd is completely and totally over. The prophecy of the dragon reborn is closing in on him, whether he likes it or not.
And that leaves us with this really fascinating question, doesn't it? Goes right back to the politics. Eleida's foretelling said the daughter heir, Elayne, would follow him, Rand, to Tarvalon.
Right, but Rand has just done the exact opposite. He has fled the city, fled the Aes Sedai, and vanished into a secret Ogier transportation system. He wants nothing to do with Tarvalon.
So how does that prophecy come true?
Yeah.
How does the most protected princess in the world end up following a fugitive shepherd who just disappeared off the face of the earth? The pattern says it has to happen, but it seems completely impossible right now.
It suggests that some immense, unpredictable chaos is about to hit the Andor royal family. The foretelling will come true, just probably not in any way Elaida imagined.
And that second question, too. What kind of evil is powerful enough to corrupt the ways? To poison something made by the Ogier? It just proves the threat they're facing is so much bigger than just armies of Trollocs.
It is. It's a corruption that's seeping into the very fabric of reality.
Yeah.
And that is a terrifying thought for the road ahead. Join us next time as their journey takes them deeper into the borderlands, right into the shadow of the Blight itself.
Until then, keep digging and keep questioning the pattern.